Okay, good morning, everybody. Got kind of a slightly new take on the Grixis archetype, which we've always spent hours and hours and hours on this channel working on. This is very similar to the Grixis Shadow deck we've been playing, but we have cut the Death Shadows and a few other cards to be a bit more on the Kroxa game plan, and we're playing Seasoned Pyromancer as another like late game card advantage threat. And when I've been playing Grixis Shadow lately, I have definitely felt the feeling that I want a bit more card advantage of the deck. And I've also definitely felt like one of the best things, like Grixis is such a good Kroxa deck. Grixis is such a good Kroxa deck where you're filling up the graveyard so efficiently and aggressively, and you have Ledger Shredder, Dragon Rage's Channeler, and now Seasoned Pyromancer to like discard Kroxas for value. And I've been feeling like Kroxa was one of the best things that Grixis is doing in the first place. So I think it makes a lot of sense to me to be a bit more in on the Kroxa game plan, be a bit more in on the grindy sword game plan, than to be on Death Shadow at the moment. Especially because, not that Shadow is a bad card in the deck, of course, but Shadow is also like not a card that you ever really cast till turn 3. You can only turn 2 if you have 2 fetch lands and a Thoughtseeze and a Shadow. The deck is like kind of not the fastest anyways. Obviously this makes the deck a lot slower, but you know, it may be like this build is only like really possible with the implementation of Ledger Shredder, but I'm pretty excited for it. I've been messing around a little bit with it off stream. So I'm up to 19 lands. I usually play 18 in Shadow, 5 discard spells instead of 6, 5 1-mana removal spells alongside 1 Terminate, 4 Drown. You could maybe try to make room for 6 main deck 1-mana removal spell. I think it's okay to not play it. I think those are the big changes. Let's go ahead and play some games. For like the entirety of MH2, like I've been wanting to play a deck with Asmo and Aether Vial, and then brutal. And then the issue is that the Asmo package, right? I kind of want to keep a second Ragavan. We're playing as Young Dingo, who I think was playing Murktide earlier today. I'll just do this. Oh, whoops. Is that like when you're playing Asmo, you're playing like oftentimes 4 Cookbook or in some number of Daredevils and or ways to put Daredevil in the graveyard, and that's like 8 cards that don't work with Vial in your Aether Vial deck. So it is like tough to fit in. Tough to fit in. Midrange is 22 means everything costs 2 mana or less. Shake my head. I mean, Kroxa is a 4-drop. Tourach's a 4-drop. Kaito's a 3-drop. And then, like, the mid-range definition here is that this deck is to play a very flexible game plan, pivoting between offense and defense. So I feel like the definition works here. The Norset Party Veil is playable in main deck of Control Shell. I don't think in the main deck, but I think you can sideboard it against 4 color. I mean, a couple other decks too. Yeah, Iteration's kind of a 3-drop too. What is Dingo doing, huh? Dingo, what are you doing? What's happening? Esper, Alt. Oh, never mind. It's the Reanimator deck. Yeah, okay. Cool. I think I'm not gonna cast that, put that in the yard for them. It's kind of interesting though. Can we die next turn? I don't think we can die next turn. Any testing of creativity? Not really. You know, I would say that like a lot of other streamers are working on the archetype, Gab specifically. And I really like Gab's teamer list. There's not much I would change from it, and so usually when I see another streamer working on something and I like where their deck list is at and I don't have any ideas on how to change or improve it, that's usually just like, you know, means I work on other things instead. Nice to have an uncontested Ragavan. Alright, I'm gonna cast this. Wait, it costs 8 mana. No deal then. Jim Golos in the creativity list? Now there's an idea I can get behind. Have we seen the Pioneer creativity deck with Gearhulk and Magmopus? Yeah, I've seen it. I mean, I didn't like invent the idea, but it's probably my list that's popping around because I think that I at least popularized it and like hammered out like the best list. I know Evan's been playing my list a lot too. No, you're good, Matt. I don't really care very much about credit. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'm not like, you know, I don't care that you didn't know it was my deck, but I just think it's funny when people ask me those kind of questions. I get a little flattered by it, you know. But my ego is not quite that large yet. But any day now it will be. Yeah, I'm not gonna skip the Tourach and like discard them into the combo. I think I'll just pass. Put Giganta in hand and pass. Credit who made Yogg. I mean, I definitely feel like I was one of the first ones, if not the first one. I mean, you could at very least like I think credit, or you can do genealogy and trace where Yogg entered the cultural consciousness to me, where I 5-0'd with it. I was one of the first people working on it. I at least by myself, without any help, figured out like Hapatra plus Yawgmoth and how the Young Wolf how the Undying combo worked, and tutoring up Blood Artist. That was originally I feel like a brew of mine, and then I 5-0'd with it. Will Hall XP saw my post on Twitter that I 5-0'd with it, and then he also 5-0'd with it, and his list got published instead of mine. And then Saffron Olive played that list, credited Will instead of me because his name was published on MTG Goldfish instead of me. And I feel like that was really when the deck entered the public consciousness, or at least that's my recollection of events. But you know, there's obviously like always parallel thinking too, especially with these new cards, and there's also like a ton of innovation with Tom Ross and Aaron Barish on the Archetype 2. And also like my list like was also like when Hogak was around when I was working on it. And so I was like playing this, Sultai version that was playing Neoform because it was really important to be able to like Neoform on turn 2 and deal with your opponent's like bridges and stuff. And I was playing Carrion Feeder to deal with opponent's bridges. And you actually like had a pretty good Hogak matchup. And then, like, when Once Upon a Time was legal, like, the Once Upon a Time versions were better. And I've been kind of meaning to, like, revisit Neoform and the Yawgmoth deck again. But it's just, you know, just gotta let it go. Do you hear you complain about Just Done Shut Out Creativity Kitchen Turns? I actually do, Da Vinci. I hear you complaining about it literally all the time. With peace and love. I literally do. But yeah, it's just, you know, not a huge deal. Okay, I think we'll keep maybe like 2 heats in because Drown can kill the creatures a lot of the time too. Maybe we're keeping none of the heats. The Kroxas are awkward, just like discarding them into the combo. Probably get all those out of there. What was the deck I didn't credit for? Yawgmoth. But again, like credit just doesn't matter. You know what I mean? It just doesn't matter. I think like trying to fight to get credit or recognition for like a deck you worked on in Modern, in my experience, is just a futile battle. It also doesn't matter that much because you send it out into the world and then people immediately start working on it and changing it and innovating on it, and it's just like nobody owns any deck. Nobody owns any deck. You work on it, you put your love into it, you put it out into the world, and then it's just not yours anymore. I think I want to try to Geyadrone and Archon. That sounds really fun. Let's do that. Okay, probably gonna go Channeler into Channeler Thoughtseize on turn 2. I'm not sure how important it is to try to Thoughtseize the Altar of Dementia though. That's an Ob in the sideboard. I think Ob is only a sideboard card for like the bird matchup, and I think Geyadrone is probably better. I could be wrong about that, but Geyadrone doesn't need a creature to sack. But I was playing Ob in the sideboard of Rakdos just really for the burn matchup. It's funny that Saffron Olive created Hammer Time out of a meme. Yeah, I feel like I don't think that Saffron Olive like was like I think didn't he take it off of a 5.0 list or something? I can't remember. Maybe he did. When I tried running a fun of Cass, that Cass is just so bad. I'm sorry. It wouldn't even be fun. Like that card is like so bad, it's like not even fun for me. like Geyadrone is unironically like I think very good against Burn and very good against Tron, and like it's a sideboard card for those matchups. Cass is just like never good. I think. At least it's not my pet card. It could be your pet card. Yeah, I would love to have a more controlling version of Grixis too. Maybe one day. One day soon. I do think I want to prioritize the Thoughtseize this turn, so we'll go second Channeler. Surveil, 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 Surveil. Yeah, Geyadrone is broken, Destructotron. Don't you know if you're playing a spicy card as a streamer, you have to declare that it's completely broken? You can keep Ragavan on top, and then next turn go Ragavan with Drown up. I'm just going to take this Persist. I see Pioneer Grixis as the 5.0 with Sedgemoor Witch and Young Pyromancer. I didn't see the 5.0 list, but we did a deck tech recently, and I can't remember when this was. So I'm trying to remember the train of thought. Okay, so we did a deck tech for Greasefang. We've done a lot of deck techs for Greasefang, and I have a big issue with the Greasefang decks because I guess I should hold up Spell Pierce for Teferi. No, Teferi doesn't matter. So my issue with the Greasefang decks is all of their sideboard cards are like Monastery Mentor and Wandering Emperor as like a pivot, like plan B. But the problem with that plan is in Pioneer, everybody is just going to be, they're going to be bringing in like Fry and Rending Volley against you, right? That's going to be like such a common thing to happen is like people bring in Fry and Rending Volley against you, and like pivoting to Mentor. And like to a lesser degree, pivoting to Wander Emperor 2, I think is just not a good plan because of that. And so we were talking about playing Sedgemoor Witch as your pivot in Greasefang instead, because people are going to be bringing Fry and Rending Volley. They just can't kill your Sedgemoor Witch, and your deck is already full of cantrips to loot away with the Witch, which is interesting. And then we did a similar deck tech for a Grixis Young Pyromancer deck. I can't remember who the player who submitted it, but it was like their second or third like Grixis Pioneer deck with Pyromancer. And I think Sedgemoor Witch like makes a lot of sense because of like how the metagame is that people have all these like anti-white, blue, red cards, but nobody has anti-black cards. And so I really like Sedgemoor Witch and Pioneer for those reasons. It looks similar. The list I think was playing more Eaten Alive. Not that I think I recommended trimming on those though. Okay, discards Archon of Cruelty, and it's a Fairy Time Raveler. My hand is unbeatable. Four, 5, 6 damage. They have one card in their hand. Don't know what it is. I feel like I would rather hold up double Spell Pierce than kick the Tourach. Although maybe I lose to exactly second body double, but Unlicensed Hearse at the top should lock this up. Maybe I could have attacked first, but Hearse means I'm not losing to body double, I'm not losing to Vesperlark. It's just, yeah, no outs really. Oh, sorry for the GG's dingo. You know, Star City Games really does not feel like the player that they used to be, where they're doing no coverage, they lay off all their content creators, and historically their prices have also been the worst. I don't know if that's still the case. Maybe it's not, but I know when I was like a tournament grinder back in the day, Star City Games always had the worst prices, but people bought from them because to like support the content creators and because like they're like a bit more convenient, and they were also like really good for like quality, right? Like you would always like if you bought from Channel Fireball or Star City, you knew that they're if you were buying a mint card, you would always get like really accurate mint condition. But I don't know. I don't know like as far as like the market, the ramifications, what that's gonna be like, because it's just not ever been something that interests me that much. Stay tuned for the 10 months. Appreciate you. But maybe I'll, you know, read and learn and listen and take some time to formulate an opinion. Probably playing against Rhinos. Maybe Glimpse. I'll just play this town. And then I guess another thing too about, like, you know, Channel Fireball's been doing their marketplace the same way that TCG players been doing their marketplace, right? Where I really don't want to double Unholy Heat. Sorry, but yeah, but Channel Fireball's been doing their marketplace kind of the same way that TCG player has been doing theirs for the longest time, where you have individual stores signing up to sell cards on the marketplace, which, you know, a lot of people are concerned about a monopoly, but like the way TCG player runs things, it's like, it's very, maybe I'm wrong that this is like the dynamic, but my understanding is that it's very democratic, or it's, you know, people get to buy from stores they like, and stores are the ones profiting more so than the company itself. So I think that might just end up being fine. But again, I just play the freaking game, you know. All right, let's cast the Bone Crusher. Can block the Rhino here. Johnny, the 5 months. Thank you. Missed the cover stream. What do you think about putting one Emrakul or Ulamog as a stronger win con? You can play an Emrakul or Ulamog in the sideboard and bring it in the grindier matchups. I think game one, you can't dilute the Reanimator game plan, and the Reanimator game plan is really good. I think I'm liking it a lot lately. Oh, this is close. So I can heat this, or heat the Fury, shock, go to 1. And then escape and play Kroxa, then escape Kroxa next turn. I need to draw an answer for Borrower. Don't love it. Yeah, a lot of people have been also saying that, like, I don't think that the deck, like, Coffers needs a higher curve. I don't think that you need an Ulamog or Emrakul to, like, significantly increase your game's win percentage. That hasn't been my experience, but I do think, like, one Emrakul, the Aeon's Torn, or Promised End against 4-color Omnath would maybe be fun to play, and you have some room in the sideboard. Okay, they discarded Fire Ice, which is lethal, so I'm not feeling great. Yeah, I like the creativity deck that Gav's been working on. Both the Grixis and Temur variants are good. I think I like the Temur version a bit more at the moment, but I think it's kind of hard to go too wrong with either variant. Definitely a matchup. I think you missed the shadows a bunch. Geyadrone will save us. Geyadrone's maybe cracked. Listen, if they Rhinos, you plus on a Rhino, and has protection from the Rhinos. Okay, I can't convince myself I was trying. I can't do it. I think I'm just gonna submit this. I might play one Hearse over the Fatal Push. Do it, Spike. Bring in Geyadrone. Amazon Marketplace and sort of stuff. Yeah, it's fair. I don't know. Like, at the very least, like, this is just, like, not the channel to come to for the business side of Magic, and if you want any kind of informed decision, you know. Did you take a Bauble if Chalice comes in? Nah, it's you have to leave in the Baubles. You can trim one, but the Baubles, like, it's not usually that much tension where they're going to be able to kill your Chalice. You can play Chalice before Bauble before Chalice a lot of the time. I usually don't worry about it too much. Okay, let's keep this. Please help me bring a tier 3 deck from 2018 into tier 3 of 2022. All right. I'll see what I can do. This is one copy of Ragavan. All right. I love this card. Savage Swipe. This card is awesome. I don't know if it's any good. I love this card. Okay, my first thought is to cut all the copies of Vexing Devil, as that card has, I think, never been good. Not even in 2018. Not even in the 2018 versions has Vexing Devil been very good. I think I would be interested in playing the full 4 Ragavans, as boring of an answer as that may be. I think that is likely going to be the play. I think I'm going to go Channeler, Thoughtseize, Chalice here, get these Surveils. Keep a land. And then I'll take the Dispute, and hopefully the Chalice can answer the Violent Outburst. Alright, so no Vexing Devils, 4 Ragavan, 4 Reckless Bushwhacker is what I recommend. I would recommend not playing Gore Clan Rampager, maybe just the full 4 Mutagenic Growths. Although it is really awkward that Mutagenic Growth does not protect Ragavan from a Lightning Bolt. I really don't like that. I really don't like that. Oh, what's that one card that there's... Maybe you should play the 2-mana 1/1 landfall for +2/+2. That card is really good. That card might be better than... Maybe you play that card over, like... I love Savage Swipe. You maybe play that card over, like, Savage Swipe, Mutagenic Growth, Gore Clan Rampager. Yeah, Brushfire Elemental. I think that card is good. I would play it. I haven't played... I don't think I've ever played it in Modern. I've played against it a few times in Modern, and it's definitely, like, looked playable to me, though. Ooh, boy, I'd love to do that. I will also say... And bottom, exile. I'll also say that I would probably play Ancient Grudge over Smash the Smithereens. I think the ability to flash back is more relevant than the 3 damage. I like the Forge Tenders a lot. A lot. I don't like the one Rallier in the sideboard. Like, for the grindy matchups, I think is a dead meme. I would probably play Run Afoul over Path to Exile. Unless you're bringing Path against Hammer, then Path is fine. I guess you could bring it against Hammer. To be honest, I might even just want the 4th Forge Tender for the Fury matchups. Virgil was good, pretty perfect this game. Yeah, I just keep it in the path so that you can be better against Hammer. Has my opinion changed on the Flyer only Murktide version? I mean, my current opinion on Murktide is like there's no super wrong way to build the deck. The Flyer only version is fine. It's like maybe a great metagame call against like Rhinos, Yawgmoth. I was also beating 4-color a lot with it. But all the threats are really good. You play 12 to 15 of them. Some people play 16, some people play 11. I like the 12 to 15 range personally, but it's all good cards. It's all good cards. I haven't been working on the archetype much to say for sure what I think the best 75 is. What's my opinion on Jun Sack? Still viable? I would say still viable. I think that where I'm currently at with like the sacrifice decks, I think that the Collected Company version of Jun Sack is better than the Aether Vial version. I think that as much as I love Imperial Recruiter, I don't feel like the Aether Vial Imperial Recruiter is the way to go. That being said, I want to play Unlucky Witness in the Collected Company version of Jun Sack. I'm not sure exactly how I want to do that. But I do think the Coco version is better. The Black-Red Sacrifice deck that I was playing at the release of Streets of New Capenna, I have a 13-3 record with it overall. I haven't played it very much since the release. I've been meaning to circle back, but I've been working on like different variants with like Aether Vial that I don't think are as good. That being said, if we're talking about the Collected Company version of Jun Sack, I also recently was playing a Jun Collected Company deck that was very similar to the Sacrifice deck, but kind of forgoing the Sacrifice synergies in favor of just playing more generically good cards. And we had a good record with this deck too. So, so that's kind of where I'm mentally at with it. Okay, let's keep this in. I played your Fable Gen deck Saturday. I felt like Tracker was underpowered. Any suggestions for alternative? Well, you might just have to play the full 4 Fable of the Mirror Breaker. I've been liking Tracker, but... Oh, dang, I didn't mean to shock. I meant to click no. I misclick so often. Now we're bluffing. They think I was representing Spell Pierce. But yeah, you could just play 4 Fabled and have a lower curve. You know, you could play an extra Terminate. Remove fetch with Kroxa. Well, my plan was to go tapped Watery Grave into untapped Blackcleave Cliffs, and then have like a relatively painless draw with my lands. But obviously, they play a lot of burn spells. This is a creature-based matchup. I thought that keeping my life total low was something to prioritize, and obviously that goes out the window when I shock on turn 1. Oh, well, I was up 6, but I also don't have a island to get the Tarn. Or I was yielded till end of turn. Shouldn't have been. Oh, and then I brought in the Chalice, so I don't have Gigantha. Fuck. Alright. Really anticlimactic into what was a pretty interesting match. Up against Yorion. Yes, Chalice helps Gigantha because it's the same mana symbol twice. We were probably supposed to be playing 4th Spell Pierce instead of the Chalice. I'm going to keep this on the draw. Pretty high upside hand. If I draw a land, I'm going to play Ragavan on turn 1. If I draw a non-land, I'm going to play Channeler Bauble. My opponent is on a mulligan to 6. Drew a second Ragavan. Opponent's on a mulligan. You know what? I'm gonna play Ragavan, and I'm gonna play the Bauble. Seal of Fire. What? Yeah, Ice in the Blood Moon is bullshit. So knowing that they have Seal of Fire, I think I kind of want to play a grindier game. This could be incorrect. Can I tell you the downside of Grixis Murktide? I'm sure it's been tried. It has been tried. So if you're playing Grixis Murktide, you have all red and black 1 mana spells, right? You have theoretically discard spells, although. So when you say Grixis Murktide, I'm assuming you are talking about a discard-based deck like this with Murktide, and not just blue-red Murktide splashing black for Terminate, which you can do also. But assuming you're talking about this deck with Murktide, the issue is you have all blue and black 1 mana spells, and okay, I'm going to Thoughtseize, then Heat, so I have Delirium. And then you have this double blue card, which is just like makes your mana pretty awkward. It makes your mana pretty awkward without offering you too much added power level necessarily. Yeah, I guess I should have realized it was Enigmatic Incarnation when I saw the Seal of Fire. Yeah, seeing Enigmatic Incarnation hand is a good way to just get totally stun lock, sidetracked, whatever. Delirium, yeah, the Thoughtseize gives me Delirium there, which is why I cast it. Esper Murktide, that's interesting. Okay, Yorion. Pretty good card, huh? Alright, let me play a Shredder, which doesn't die to Seal of Fire. Blue-red splash for push, drown, terminate K command. I've done similar things in Murktide in the past. I think that Kolaghan's Command is not a card that is currently very well positioned in the format. It's not bad, but like I haven't been loving it in Rakdos a ton, and it's not something that I would just want to splash in blue-red Murktide. That being said, like splashing for Terminate and Murktide right now seems great. I think that could be a really interesting option. I don't think you get much else. I don't think you really get much else, but I think that specifically is kind of good. Okay, let me discard Ragavan against the Seal of Fire. So here I think I'm just going to be Kaitoing. Get my second Blood Crypt. I think having double red is nice. I might mess around a little bit with Grixis Murktide. I know I haven't been playing much of the much Murktide lately on stream, but I feel like that's maybe an interesting innovation. I don't think we've splashed Black and Murktide before, but splashing for Terminate like does kind of seem good. Although playing Terminate and counterspell is probably pretty bad on the mana. I'd have to take a closer look. You probably don't play Archmage's Charm, but no, don't 80 cards by the way, me. Damn it. How does anybody play against this deck? How does literally anybody know what to do against Enigmatic Incarnation? Interesting that they sacked this instead of the Spreading Seas also. I feel like I would have sacked the Spreading Seas. Any interest in messing around with hammer variants? We have. Like, I want to be playing around a little bit with, like... I really think that splashing red a little bit and playing a Rabbit Battery is good. But maybe it's not better than blue-white. Maybe Sunken Ruins help the mana. You can't play Sunken Ruins in your Ragavan DRC deck, I think. I guess it's like Enigmatic Incarnation lets you, at your end step, sacrifice an enchantment. If you do, you search for a creature in your library with mana value equal to that sacrifice enchantment +1. So my opponent is currently thinking about putting a 3-mana creature in play. Probably Skyclaver Apparition, maybe Eternal Witness. I don't know. I don't know. I think you can make the mana work if you just play 1 Watery Grave. Yeah, it's probably not that bad. You probably want to play 2 Watery Graves. So, like, that way you can, like, surveil one into the yard or, like, get Field of Ruin and still cast your spells with that Ragavan. But I imagine splashing for Terminate would give you a pretty big edge in the mirror, which is nice. So I'm just escaping Kroxa here. I think so. Ooh, okay, I can't kick that. To lose a lot of life. Oh, the island. This is an island. Oh, no. Okay, in that case, I'm gonna push this with Heat Up. Damn it, sorry. I don't know why I thought that I could tap the Blood Crypt. Okay, I'll keep Drown. Drown's probably okay. Frost with the deck tech, plus they can check and take a look. Building Golos, Boros, Secret Qualifier, any updates to the list. Also Titan Murktide. I don't have new updates on the list. I do plan on circling back and looking at it off stream at some point this week. We'll see. Good luck to you. Splashing red for Rabbit Battery and Sideboard Wear Tear. Yeah, maybe you also play the Magmatic Theft too. Matchups like these are why I always keep a Keranos on the board. Alright, so my opponent can get a 2 or 3 mana creature from the deck. I guess they can get a 5 if they sack... oh, they can't sack Incarnation to itself. They do sack Spreading Seas, which lets me... potentially Kroxa or Tourach, but maybe my opponent is going to get, like, Endurance or something. Okay, so first note is I think Lion Sash is not a playable Modern card. It hurts me to say that. Like, physically brings me pain because it was my first ever preview card. I really want it to be good. I think it's not good. And in your blue-white affinity Stoneblade decks, you have access to Cauldron, you have access to Nettlecyst. I think like 2 Nettlecysts and a Cauldron and a Shadow Spear is plenty of Stoneforge Mystic targets. And I also talk about this a lot. I think that it is really, really easy when you play any toolbox deck to get a little lost in the sauce and play too many tutor targets and not enough. And you don't get much added consistency when you play a lot of extra tutor targets. And oh no, I didn't hit the Yorion. I was really kind of banking on it here. Sorry, you don't get much added consistency when you when you do this, when you add a Lion Sash to your deck with Stoneforge Mystic, but you do get a pretty big degree of diminished power level. So I think it's not usually good to play. Oh, you also already have the Batter Skull. I actually wouldn't play the Batter Skull either. Like, you have lifelink off the Shadow Spear, you have a big creature off Cauldra, or you have a big creature off Nettlesist. I don't think you want to play the Batter Skull. Also, I'm not sure. Wait, are you really not? You also have to. Okay, there's Esper. I didn't see Esper Sentinel. Sorry. The rest of the list looks like somewhat standard stock, whatever. I think all 3 Aether Spellbombs is interesting. I've been actually working on like the mono blue affinity list. I'm playing I think 4 main deck Aether Spellbomb, but it's a bit different because of your mono blue. I like the 2 Dispatches main. You can play a 4th Urza in the main deck. Yeah, the list might just be -1 Batter Skull, -1 Sash, +1 Urza. And you could like maybe main deck the Needle. I was kind of like main deck Needle in these decks because you're lacking some interaction. You can play the 3rd Dispatch in the main, be fine. I haven't liked Sword of War and Peace as a sideboard card against. Ooh, draw a card. I haven't liked Sword of War and Peace as a sideboard card against 4-color. Maybe your experience has differed, but it has definitely not been my experience that this is like some good secret tech. Maybe plus main phase. I might want to just loot away the Kroxa and draw something else to do pre-combat. Here, let's go Channeler. Then Terminate the Yorion. I'm going to Surveil pretty aggressively into the yard, but I guess not so aggressively that I'll lose my iteration. Attack for 6. Kind of classic 4-drop for the grindy matchup. I don't like the Tezzeret. I wouldn't play it. I do think that I would like to see the first Chalice of the Void for the Cascade matchup. I'd like to see probably Flusterstorm on the sideboard for the Cascade matchups too, likely over these Mystical Disputes. I don't think you need Cage and Needle. Like, they're both like mostly just for the Yawgmoth matchup, and I don't know that you need both as Urza Saga targets. But if there's a lot of Yawgmoth, it's good. Kind of a lot of loose thoughts, I guess. Okay, yeah, we can do the prediction payout. Sorry. This is an interesting card here. I think I just counter it. The life gain is good, the card draw is good. Just see what they've got for next turn. Playing against all sorcery Mori Coffers. Yeah, I've seen those decks a couple times. I don't know that they're good, but it's kind of interesting. Losing Expedition map is such a pain, but you get Sylvan Scrying, I guess. Kaito Ultimate, yeah, I mean, Kaito Ultimate doesn't... I guess I can get Kroxa. I can just Kaito Ultimate put 2 Kroxas into play, trigger Kroxa twice. We'll see, we'll see. Renegade Rallier. Into Sithis, maybe? Into Sithis. Into Spreading Seas on Swamp instead of Blood Crypt is weird. Tourach is kind of rough on the mana, Adam, but maybe you can also just kind of be okay with your mana being worse. They're dead. They can't block the Tourach. They can sack an enchantment into maybe a creature that can if they have a second endurance or something. Where did the YouTube cold opens come from? There's a Twitch chatter by the name of A Chest who, for years now, has been, when he's available at the beginning of the stream, typing up a cold open for me to read. Just like a little, shitpost copy pasta. So they can grab Endurance here. Maybe Endurance lets them survive if I can kill this. They get Seal of Fire. Alright, let's just Iteration. Likely to be able to find a removal spell for the Eternal Witness. Okay, so we can keep that Fatal Push and we can turn on Revolt. Turn on Revolt by ultimating this Kaito. Which is kind of a funny sentence, I guess. -7, Revolt. How do you feel about Rakdos food? I've never seen a good Rakdos food deck list. I really like the Esper one I've been working on, or Dimir Splash White. There's a green-black food deck bouncing around that did well at the SCG, but I think you should be playing Ravenous Squirrel there. I don't know what Rakdos food is. Okay, playing against Enigmatic Incarnation. I guess I want all the Spell Pierces. Maybe I want an Engineered Explosives. Dress Down's probably pretty good against them too. They got a lot of ETB, draw effects. I think I'll cut a Kroxa against their plethora of Graveyard Hate. No, Geyadrone's for the burn and the Tron matchups. But it does look like goofy sideboard card for the for the grindy matchups. I know. Kaito's pretty good that game. I don't think I'll leave Kaito in. Yeah, they just probably have so much Graveyard Hate. Maybe take a IOK. The first IOK has got to be good. Lands 13 months. Appreciate you. I think on 2 or the Heats and not the pushes, not the Terminate. Played Esper Food against Yawgmoth this weekend. They turn 2'd my cookbooks with their only Necromancer from the sideboard. Brutal. I mean, so yeah, this has been something that has been talked a lot about, is the Esper Food versus Yawgmoth matchup, and a lot of people have been saying that they've been getting bodied by Yawgmoth with Esper Food. And so maybe it's just correct to main deck Pithing Needle over the Shadow Spear. Just swap the Shadow Spear main side, with the Pithing Needle, and I think that's fine. Like I'm like close to cutting the Shadow Spear from the main anyways. Like I really just want it for like exactly the Murktide matchup. Game 1, and like burn obviously, but like you get cookbook against burn. Okay, I have to take the Veil. So I have a second discard spell. So I used to main deck the Needle and cookbook, and when I was like 3-0 against Yogg when I was doing that. What's my favorite number of discard spells to run? I know Reed likes about 6, Logan often has 7. I mean, I like to run 7, but just as far as like favorite number, but 5 to 7 is usually good, or 4 to 7. Dingo, thank you for the raid. GG's earlier. I think I need to graveyard this and try to find. Maybe I should have held up Dress Down this turn. But I'll probably just have to Thoughtseize the Knight of Autumn. No, sorry, this is Knight of Autumn. This is not Knight of the. This is Renegade. I thought this was Renegade Rallier, not Knight of Autumn. So maybe I don't have to do that. I'll graveyard the Drown still. I'm not really sure about that decision point. And then I think we take Omen of the Sea now, because their hand is pretty awkward, and it unawkwards the hand a lot, and then is nasty with the Yorion down the line. Yeah, I don't really care if they just like Knight of Autumn 4/3. It's probably better for them to just Yorion in the hand here. 4 years later, I'm playing Hades. Yeah, Hades is so good. With my Citrus Supplier synergizing with Bone Shards and Reanimator, I'm not a fan. Not a fan. Like the thing about Citrus, like that Marty Reanimator deck that was running around that was playing Citrus Supplier, I really didn't like that list very much. Where I don't know, it just like didn't make a ton of sense to me. I hope that they play the Phantasmal Image here. It didn't make a ton of sense to me to be playing that list where you only have like 4 good cards, maybe 5 cards in the deck that are good to mill over in the first place, and you're just like so unlikely to mill over something good with your Stitcher Supplier. It's just so often going to be a 1-mana 1/1. No extra text. Oh, I probably should have just got the Swamp there. Too excited to kick the Tourach. Solitude onto Nice. Get out of here. So yeah, I'm just not a big fan. You just don't have the density of good cards to discard. Okay. I think that I want the 5/4 Tourach here. But I don't think I want to take the damage, so I'll just do this. The other option is hit my opponent for 4, then have a 3/2 Tourach. I still have my companion. They don't have theirs. I dressed down in response to Phantasm Image, which stopped the image from copying anything. It's weird that it does that. I wouldn't necessarily expect a judge call at an RCQ to go right for that. But it does work that way. Goss, thank you for the 11 months. Appreciate you. I think a blue-black Merc Shadow in the format right now. I mean, it was fine when I was working on it. Like, it was a deck that I definitely thought was like competitive. I haven't, like, I've had a few different ideas of different ways to build and work on the deck lately, and it's kind of been on the back burner for a little while because I've had a lot of irons in the fire or whatever. But I will get around to working on it and let you know. It is as a copy, I thought, not a trigger. Well, Dress Down, it beats it for the same reason that Dress Down beats Walking Ballista. It like there's a lot of effects that go as like it enters with the counters or enters as a copy. Like Dress Down also stops the non-trigger effects. That's a Fairy Time Raveler here, but I don't think we play around it. Eternal Witness, Antonice, kill me. Dang it. Game 3. But it does, no, it does, it should work that way. It stops those effects. I don't think I want to play hers. Yeah, we've talked the CFB TCG thing to death a little bit, but I don't have big thoughts just because it's the content creation for Channel Fireball is staying the same. Yeah, only Giganta decks from now on. Just don't know why you wouldn't want to play the 5/5. I'll take the Antonice and then plan to Spell Pierce the Fable. Gabbing, 2 months, appreciate ya. Spell Pierce the Veil of Summer if they drew that. Yeah, I think I'd take the Incarnation here because I would rather Spell Pierce the Fable this next turn, get to use my mana in a somewhat like reasonable fashion, and then get to use ideally something else on my mana next turn instead of taking the Enigmatic Incarnation and then my opponent or taking the Fable and then they get to use their mana on Yorion and I still have to Spell Pierce the following turn. So everybody see Geyadrone 75. Yeah, the idea is Geyadrone is good against Burn and Tron. Is also my pet card. Thank you again, Gavin, for the 2 months. But yeah, always love when the YouTube viewers get to pop in and subscribe. I really do appreciate it. Dude, I guess I have played Dress Down at a few paper events, but it can definitely go wrong. You can definitely get some weird judge calls, I bet. That are supposed to go your way and do not. I told this story earlier, but I unfortunately had like a weird interaction where this weekend where I think I tried to graveyard that, but I'm not sure that it's correct. Here we'll keep the Tourach for sure. I thought cantripping and getting Delirium was going to be good here. So, and we don't know about any cards in hand that Dress Down currently turns off. But I had a judge called in a match talking about Alpine Moon turning off Tron. My opponent didn't think Alpine Moon turned off Tron, and neither did the first judge we called. And the second judge wasn't sure, so I was really worried it wasn't going to go our way. Okay, Seal Fire, not currently killing any of my creatures. They also put Yorion in the hand. Would love to draw a black land here. No black land, but I do draw something for them to kill with Seal of Fire, I guess. Yeah, we did get the right call. They were able to figure it out. I'm not sure exactly what went wrong, or you know. How they figured out the right thing, but they did get it. Yeah, but can you imagine, like, I mean, Alpine Moon I guess kills all the sagas, but can you imagine registering Alpine Moon if it didn't turn off Tron? I remember the first time I ever played Tron at a paper tournament was with like Blue Red Phoenix, and I had a similar judge call but the judge didn't know how it worked. I remember that. Okay, Abzan and Pioneer is interesting. I'd love to see Archon of Emeria. I love to see Assassin's Trophy. I think Assassin's Trophy is like quietly an okay card in Pioneer with like the general lack of basics, although maybe that's not as true right now. But like specifically with Heroic running around, Heroic oftentimes plays no basics. I feel like you can get them, but maybe this card is too bad against mono blue. I'm not sure. I guess my real recommendation is to play with the card a little bit and see if you can get people off their basics. Maybe that's the play. Seal of Fire Channeler to deny the Surveil. Very well, denying Surveil too. So I'm going to go Bauble. I'm going to look at my top card. If my top card is like Drown in the Loch, I'm not going to put Giganta in my hand. If my top card is Delta, then I have nothing to do but put Giganta into the hand. I don't know. Maybe I would play some trophies in the sideboard, but I kind of like Abzan Charm. I don't know if that's crazy, but I kind of like playing Abzan Charm. I think that card's pretty good. You get to draw 2 cards. It's creature removal. It's a combat trick. It helps your Archon survive red removal. I feel like I would be playing Abzan Charm over Assassin's Trophy, and then maybe playing 0 Duress, 4 Rhino, 4 Abzan Charm. I think that's the direction I would go. Oh, you're not playing any Vanishing Verse. Okay, sorry. Play 4 Vanishing Verse and 0 Abrupt Decay. Vanishing Verse is the best removal spell in Pioneer. I would play 4 Vanishing Verse in the main, 0 Abrupt Decay. That card is nuts, and you're really, really incentivized to register it. Alright, let's get a pro white creature, get that last card out of their hand. Just a Heath. Yeah, so yeah, no decay, 4 Vanishing Verse, 4 Abzan Charm. I think 3 Chariots is fine. You could also cut 1 for something, maybe 24th land. I'm not sure what the idea of the Leyline of Sanctities are necessarily. Yeah, what are the Leylines for? Sorry, I don't know. Pretty good top deck. I'm not sure. Yeah, sideboard's always hard to figure out. I like the Resting Pieces. Weathered Runestone, good against Greasefang and Phoenix, I guess. Would Vanishing Verse work with the mana? I mean, maybe you just don't play the Boseiju, but Boseiju's not. Or there's no Boseiju in here, anyways. I think it would be fine. I think it would be fine. Do we have any attacks here? Not really. Push with almost no way to trigger it seems strange. Right now, Pioneer, there's a lot of like Heroic, and there's a lot of like Mono Blue Spirits, which are both pretty important matchups for Fatal Push. But I agree you don't have to play the full 4 naturally. Yeah, I don't really get the Culling Ritual. I'm kind of drawing a blank onto how I would build the sideboard. Although I guess maybe I would be interested in Kalidas in the main also over Chariot. Kalidas is really good against. I think Kalidas is good against Heroic, Mono Green, Mono Red, Spirits. I think it's maybe the better 4-drop. Maybe you can play 1 Chariot, 2 Kalidas or something. Maybe 3rd Kalidas in the sideboard. No Tourach attack? Oh yeah, sorry, I should have obviously attacked with a Tourach. Or the classic deck tech punt. The mandatory once a stream deck tech punt. Is Hero good against Lotus Field and Phoenix? It's good against Lotus Field, I think. I think it usually races Lotus Field. I haven't played the Phoenix matchup. I think if Phoenix is playing Thing in the Ice, it's probably a bit harder. But I also think you can probably maneuver around their removal pretty well. Opponent, please! How are they doing this? How are they casting Mimic into Dress Down when we already dressed down their Phantasmal Image last game? Like, they should have already learned this lesson, right? What am I... I don't know. I think they should have sort of learned that one already. Okay. Getting close to attacking with Shredder. I think I'm getting rid of a Spell Pierce here. Okay. Now I'll discard the Kaito and then drown Yorion with Spell Pierce up and get hella blown out by Veil of Summer. Fuck. No, I was joking. I was joking the whole time about my opponent Veil of Summering me. Damn it. I take it back. I guess I can still... I can put them to 1 here. I can put them to 1. But then I give them pretty good attacks. Yeah, why would I say that? Why would I summon the Veil of Summer to their hand? Don't you think that Createch won the challenge would be better without Fable? People keep wanting to cut Fable from creativity. Fable's nuts in creativity. It's so good there. I just don't understand why people keep wanting to cut it. Sideboard is tuned for the local meta. Yeah, that's fine. Then if it's tuned for the local meta, I don't really have nodes. I also haven't been playing as much Pioneer lately, so I've got, you know, less ideas. But I at least like really endorse the main deck changes. Maybe playing 24 lands, 2 Kalitas, no, 4 Rhino, no Chariots is fine. But I like the other main deck changes we had too. Right, bailed out, but the iteration. We can go for lethal again. we can go for lethal again and think of the complaint equity we would get if my opponent had a second Veil of Summer as the mystery card. Think of the complaint equity. Huh. Weird. At least my endurance, the endurance doesn't get to block my Tourach super easily. But still top decking. A lot of good top decks probably. I think Living End's probably the best of those decks. Best of those quick, but Burn is also really good. I think Burn is like super underplayed. Dude, I just keep top decking Expressive Iteration. It's kind of like an unreal number of iterations in a row. Probably, maybe could have played Channeler first. Oh no, I need, dude, I played this game so badly. I needed to attack with the Tourach too. I just forgot that they could jump block. I played this whole game so badly. Just keep top decking Expressive Iterations and getting bailed out. Sorry, I thought it was lethal. And they're drawing Solitude for turn. They can Solitude my bigger Shredder. We're winning anyways though. What a weird match. I guess they have that mystery card. It's not a land though, because they didn't trigger landfall last turn. We have Kroxa in the graveyard. This should be fine. Move on from that rough match. You know, splashing blue is not just a super free or easy thing to do, but it might be okay to do. Okay, I think I'm going to play Thoughtseize on turn 1, hoping to stop a Ridden 6, but my opponent has... Wait, they didn't shock to cycle Forgotten Cave? That's really weird. I don't really know what they're doing. Oh, they're playing Astral Slide. Dude, my opponent's playing Astral Slide. Okay. I'll take the Wall of Blossoms, I guess. They're definitely playing Astral Slide. And then probably Bauble. I guess I should have bobbled first. I was thinking I was going to want to hold it, but seeing them having double Ren and 6, I think I just need to bobble. Yeah, classic Astral Ren. They wildfire themselves. Thankfully, they can't Ren this turn. Unfortunately for me, I can't... I don't have any blue mana. Let me see what my top card is. I don't think I can go... I don't want to play Channeler or Bauble and just have my Channeler die to Ren and 6. Although, with Ragavan on top, it's a bit more appealing to have my Channeler die to Ren and 6 so I can go dash Ragavan, kill Ren and 6. I know they have a second one. It's Drift, not Slide. Sure. I can't believe we're running into it. That's awesome. Are there any other cards that work with Bauble other than Deer and Sword Fetches? I feel like playing Bauble Burn. I mean, Bauble works with Monastery Swift Spear. My friend Mickey top 8'd his RCQ. Top 8'd his RCQ with Bauble Burn. There was maybe a little bit more to the story, though. I guess we'll play Shredder, Ragavan, discard Kroxa. Obviously, Ragavan into the Ren is bad, but happy to draw my blue source. Happy to connive this into the yard. Happy to get this into 2/4. Maybe just, you know, take this down. Yeah, the top 8 very loosely. Joe, I actually really liked Bauble and Burn when Luris was around. I don't know that I don't think I can still recommend it. Yeah, but he top 8'd with a lot of weird extenuating circumstances. It's quite the we told the story earlier. It was really weird. I guess I want to Kaito minus. Yeah, 1-1 at the top 8. He got a round 1 bye, lost round 2, won round 3. He has round 4 opponent. Didn't show up because wanted to just go eat lunch instead. Round 5 opponent. Despite there being a dedicated lunch break, by the way, his opponent left to go eat just like a sit-down meal. And then round 5 opponent was dead for top 8 and conceded him into the top 8. So got 3 free wins in Swiss and then lost in the semis. Why not attack there? I mean, my opponent has a 3/4 reach against my 2/4. I guess maybe my opponent won't block. But they would get to attack me, and I would take 3 damage, so I think it's better to just not. Well, I guess they would get to ping the Shredder. Ooh, that's bad. Yeah, he posted his tournament report to Facebook. Yeah, there's like more drama too, and like there was like more. There was more to it, but that was the gist, kind of. Okay, let's kick Tourach, and then playing a second Ragavan to pressure my opponent's minus. To pressure my opponent's minus and trigger connive is kind of nice as well. Yeah, my opponent's playing Naya Astral Slide, not Astral Slide. The Modern Horizons 1 Astral Slide parody. Okay, discard second Ren and 6 Forgotten Cave. Astral Rift, yeah. And deck is looking pretty interesting. Think about Seismic Assault in Modern. That card's pretty cool. I think that there was a Temur Seismic Assault Slogurk deck that was making the rounds in Modern a little while ago. And I can't remember how good or bad I thought the deck was, I guess. It was okay. It's okay for sure. If you run 2 to 4 Tourach, does it make your matchup against 4 color even? No, they're still favored against you, but it helps a lot. Blood Sun. Lotus Field? Oh my gosh. Whoa! Alright, we've been outspiced. We've been outspiced. Is it just due to wildfire synergy? You're asking the wrong guy. I don't know what's going on. Escape to the Wilds. Very fitting named card. Into 2 Nihiri's Bloodstained Wall of Blossoms, Wall of Blossoms. It's a lot of mana worth of cards. Wait, is my opponent not... Are they really not playing the Astral card? They have to be if they're playing Wall of Omens and Ren and 6, all these cyclers. Oh, my opponent's making me gain life because they think I have Shadow in the deck too. That's what we in the business call equity. Okay, so let me go Thoughtseize. Okay, take Escape to the Wilds. Inquisition Connive. Terminate the wall. Draw a card. Okay, can't cast the Blood Sun, hold the Scalding Tarn for Connive and Kaito Loots, I guess. What's the best Pioneer deck? I feel like Mono Blue or Heroic are like kind of the 2 decks I'm liking a lot at the moment. I like Phoenix too. I kind of like Esper Greasefang with Sedgemoor Witch on the side. Did well recently, and we did a deck tech for it that I thought was kind of interesting. Yeah, Bloodstone turns on the fetch lands, but we could loot them away. Good minus, good plus. Like says more than Mentor. Yeah, it's so much better than Mentor because the problem with Greasefang is that everybody brings in Rending Volley and Fry to kill your Greasefangs, and they play a lot of anti-white creature cards. But nobody can kill a Sedgemoor Witch. Sedgemoor Witch is just weirdly incredibly resilient. Second Lotus Field into Wildfire, my only blue source. I guess I have the Treasure Token. So drown the wall. Drown the wall using these 2, then escape Kroxa after. I can discard here. I want to keep hitting with Ragavan. I'll attack the Nihiri for at least 1. So nobody can kill someone's got hit by Verdict. Okay, I guess that one player can. Yes, I think Sedgemoor Witch is just kind of quietly crazy because nobody plays black cards in Pioneer. Nobody has sideboard cards for your black decks. There's like so much color hate in that format compared to modern Pioneer or modern. I guess it's modern, right? Is it M20 cards? Was it M20 with Veil of Summer, Aethergast, Fry, Cerulean Drake? I can't remember. Alright, they're putting a Ripped Prismatic Ending off the top. They minus Nahiri. You can kill the Nahiri now, so I'm going to attack my opponent. Realm Smasher, thank you for the 13 months. Appreciate you. Could maybe plus main phase for looting Kroxa away. Although I would just play Escape Kroxa. And then this is better if I draw Shredder or Deersea. What a game. What a game. Do I want a Shredder? Not really. Not really. Want to dig? We have 2 more Kroxas in the deck. I kind of want to dig for those. Says we're only having 2 toughness. The no bolts 4 minutes rough. That's like not nearly as relevant now that everybody's playing Fiery Impulse Strangle now. That like line of thinking I think was pretty true before Strangle was printed, but now 4 toughness is the new 3 toughness in Pioneer, in my opinion. All right, they still have to top deck something. Thug, 14 months, thank you. Do we know what opponent's game plan is? I'm not sure if my opponent knows what their game plan is. So if they get Ensnaring Bridge here, we can Unholy Heat and still dig for a Kroxa. But they have a lot of mana. They have 6, 9, 10, 11, 12. They can Ballista for 6. You favored against Elementals or 5-color Scapeshift as this deck, or Grixis or Murktide. Yeah, I think you're pretty good against Grixis Shadow and Murktide. I think that you're probably a little bit better against 4-color with this version too. Okay, they do get a Ballista. They do get a Ballista. 6/6 Ballista. They are going to immediately kill the Channeler, I imagine, to deny some Surveils. And I should heat the Karn. I should heat Karn, right? Unlocks my treasure token. Oh, I should have done end of turn, sorry. I don't... Unlocks my treasure token. I'm way more likely to be able to find another removal spell for Ballista than another removal spell for Karn. And either way, Kroxa is still going to be lethal too. Land. Expressive Iteration. Which I needed to unlock here. So my Bloodstone turns off my fetches. How about 2 Kroxas? Never too saucy, 4 months, thank you. Before being the new 3, does Brimaz have some legs in Pioneer? Let's see. Brimaz. Somewhat inconclusive. Sorry, the art's not popping up. Does Brimaz have legs in Pioneer? I don't see any legs in the art. They're probably there. They're probably there. I'm gonna Geyadrone. No, hold on. I shouldn't Geyadrone. I think Unlicensed for Ren. I think I'm gonna cut the Fatal Pushes, Terminates. Too deep. We're playing against the Naya, Goofy Naya Brew. Who? I heard that we had a raid too. Modest, thank you for the raid. Hope you're having a good day. Appreciate you. Put 2 heats. Probably bring in Graveyard Hate. Get you a Kroxa. Yeah, I think there's probably legs there. So maybe legs in Pioneer. There's a lot of jank in the queues today, huh? Isn't better Adeline? I think Adeline is usually going to be better, yes. Obviously, Adeline, to some extent, requires human synergies, but... Ooh, Bloodstone's very good this early. Although I can maybe discard them off of things. Maybe discard away any fetch lands I draw. Start with an Inquisition. 3 Cleansing Wildfires. Barf. Guess we discard that. So they can cut me off blue mana. Then my Ragavan's not doing very much into the Wall of Blossoms. My 100% confident the main base could Spire Bluff Doctor's Source Helper now. So with the Tourachs, I don't think you want Spire Bluff Canal. And then with 8 red 1-mana creatures, I don't know if you want Darkslick Shores. You could play 1 Shores over the you can play 1 Shores over the 3rd Cliffs, but it's also like, you know, this is the only time today we're getting this question. Not that it's not a fair question to ask, but it's also like very easy to be like, oh, Spike, we're playing against the Blood Sun Cleansing Wildfire deck. Do we need to change the mana base? You know, like these Grixis Shadow decks, like even like, you know, the other version, or like any Grixis deck is going to struggle against Blood Sun Wildfire sometimes. Like your mana is going to be disrupted against the mana disruption deck. I think it's just okay. Yeah, the Double Master Sign is really good. I will trade this Double Masters set symbol if anybody has the Arcane Vi Glass Case. Wizards sent out when they did like their collab with Arcane. They have like these glass images. I don't know. They're really, really cool. And there was one of Vi, and she's got her gauntlets. She looks really cool. She's my favorite character from the show. I would trade, and I couldn't buy it from anybody, but I'll trade this for that if anybody has it. Bolo, 4 months, appreciate you. Standing offer. I DM'd like most of the people who got one of those. Said, hey, can I buy it from you? And nobody wanted to sell it to me. Ugh. Alright, I'm back. The Brimmaster, people like laugh cursive, any idea? RQT, I don't know what RQT stands for. I feel like I'm being got with some kind of these nuts joke, but thank you for the resubscription. Yeah, one day I'll figure out how to get my hands on one of those. Ooh, relic. Happy to find a shredder though. Oh, the regionals. Oh yeah, at least for my local area, there's like a Facebook group that has all the RCQs. I don't know. Can someone? Is there like a regional championship qualifier page on the Wizards website or something? I'm sure someone in chat can help you out. But at least for me, like our like local Facebook group is well maintained for finding that kind of stuff. Like the only time I'll say Facebook is good for something. DreamHack's site sucks and doesn't show a lot of lists. Yeah, I do. DreamHack's website is garbage. It's so bad. Oh man. The old Path to Exile. I guess get them out of basics with the mana denial. Yeah, but it's all like flat. It's all flashy, but it does none of it makes any sense. Like the site is just like really, really hard to navigate. I think that Strown is unlikely to be particularly live this game. Wow, that's really good. That is a really good draw. Like even just like for the convention, like the DreamHack Dallas convention recently, it was their website was really, really hard to navigate, or at least it was for me. I can't find the arcane thing on Google. Yeah, I don't like. As far as I know, kind of like this. Like, I don't think Wizard sells these set symbols. They're just like, you know, gifts to like the content creators for promotion. And like, I think they did the same thing for the arcane stuff. But I don't think that those were ever for sale either. But I would be. If anybody has any info on how to buy one, I guess I'd still be interested. There's just discard the drown because they've got the relic still. My opponent's hand is Zakama. Zakama, Escape to the Wilds, Valakut Awakening. I'll take this Awakening because their hand is. Oh no, I meant to play the Hearse. So okay, whatever. I guess I meant to play the Hearse and hold Spell Pierce up. Not the end of the world. Yeah, I heard some issues that there were some issues with the Texas power grid. I haven't had any issues today, but I'm also on an uninterruptible power supply. So, in theory, the power grid can crash, and I'll still be able to be live for like 2 hours. Although it maybe would be better for me to use that power for something else. All right, let's get their hand empty. I wanted to cast Thoughtseize before Tourach here. I know that it looks a little weird to cast Thoughtseize before Tourach since we would get the counter, but if I don't want to leave my opponent with like just a Lotus Field in the hand, if that makes sense. I don't want their last card in hand to just be a land. So I think it makes sense to Thoughtseize first and have one less power on the Tourach. Yeah, my internet is also on the power supply. But if the internet goes down, I guess it won't be live. But if my personal house's power goes down and the internet doesn't go down, I'll still be able to be live for a little bit. They mentioned any impact of organized play. As far as I know, this Channel Fireball TCG player thing will have no impact on organized play. Alright, gonna put that in the graveyard. Always nice to surveil Kroxa for value. Thoughtseize on top of my opponent's library. Thoughtseize no companion. Could be Rakdos. Could be Jund. Could be something else. Could be Cabal Coffers. And you just know Greg Abbott's like, charge those Texans as much money as you possibly can. Charge them for the power grid usage, just like he did last time. I have Delirium. I think I'm just getting a tap Steam Vents. Yeah, for those of you who don't know, when Texas had its big freeze a couple years ago, Greg Abbott told the power company to charge as much money as they could for the powers. Why? Because he's invested in the company and he's just forking that cash over hand over fist. Just did it for his own personal profit. That bastard. Enemy of the channel, Greg Abbott. Dude, they took heat over iteration? What in the world? Oh, they're playing creativity. Even then, though. I'm going to keep this Inquisition, though. Second Channeler is kind of interesting. We can go second Channeler Thoughtseize next turn. That's probably going to be a good turn. Their hand is 3 Indulgences, which is also weird. Seems not very legal, but very cool. Yeah, it's just like, when you're the governor, nobody can do anything to you. Yeah, maybe he'll get voted out this year. We'll see. Let's see if my opponent can taint an Indulgence into a creativity. I guess I have to take this Persist. This was a really good day for us to get solar screens, apparently, though. They came just in time. They came just in time. I'm really hoping that... Because, two rooms in the house have been like get really hot during the day. So not really hot, but like the AC just doesn't work as well in them. It's this stream room. So like in the afternoon, it gets to be like high 70s, low 80s in here, and then our bedroom too is also like the AC is not very good in there. So hopefully the solar panels fix that. Getting Thoughtseize bugged. No, they're going to Indulgence, looking for another Persist. If we can dodge the Persist, we're going to be in good shape. Alright. They find it? Looks like they found it. I feel like they would have conceded if they hadn't. So I need to top deck a Unholy Heat or a Drown in the Loch, or I'm going to lose. Okay, we can Thoughtseize for a little more info. Isn't 80 like the perfect summer temperature? It's maybe for outside. It's like I'm not dying in here when it's 80 degrees. It's just like a little uncomfortable. Like 80 degrees outside, it's outside, and like the fresh air is nice. Like inside, it's like a little warm. Not a huge deal. I mean, Geyadrone Steel Archon sounds pretty sweet. Whatever, let's bring it in. Let's bring it in. Mostly for fun. I do want to cut these Kroxas against the Persist variant. Kaito's okay. I think we mostly just want Heat as removal and Geyadrone as removal. Probably play one Alpine Moon. Got Shredder number 4. If you Kroxa to lose Delirium, you might get another turn. Yeah. Just so unlikely though. It's all that life gain. Yeah, the Heat here's been pretty bad. It's like that's kind of another thing too. Just like need a break from it. It's been like 103 to 105, 106 every single day for a long time, and there just hasn't been a break. And there doesn't seem to be a break in sight, because like usually in Texas summers it's like I feel like you have like 3 to 5 days of like 100, a little above 100, and then you usually have a few days of like high 95, high low 90s. But when you just don't get a break, it's really bad. Go north. Yeah, I mean, we want to go north maybe one day, but you know, our family's here. We've got elderly relatives, sick relatives. Friends are all here. It's just tough. We got life here. It's also true, like we'll see how things go forward. Like the last like 2 or 3 summers in Texas have actually been like very good. They've been not too bad. No explosives. No, I usually don't like explosives against creativity. Not that I think the card is bad, but the issue with explosives is that it's very easy to play around. Like with your removal spells, if your opponent goes for a creativity, there's a chance you might surprise them, right, and catch them off guard. But there's like really no chance. I think I'm putting back a Channeler here. Maybe it's Hearse. It's close. Oh, not that one. You'll put the Hearse. I want to be able to turn 2 Kaito into play potentially. Do you have AC in your house? Yeah, like it is like not safe to live in Texas if you don't have AC. Like it's not even being dramatic. It's not safe. Dude, crab too good. Although it's not as bad as like Phoenix, Arizona. I love Phoenix. Phoenix is one of my favorite cities in America. But boy, is it hot. I feel like I don't talk about this enough. Phoenix is the cleanest city I've ever been to. You guys have such Phoenix is a beautiful city, and when I was there for the GP, the Pioneer GP right before COVID, I like noticed like 1 or 2 days in that I hadn't seen a single piece of trash on the street. I hadn't seen a single. I think I'm gonna not Hearse this turn and lose if they go Archon and Persist off this Indulgence. But I didn't see a single piece of trash on the street the entire time I was there. Like at one point I was actively looking to see if I could just see a piece of trash on the ground, and I didn't see a single one. It was crazy. It was unreal how clean the city was. No trash because nobody goes outside. I guess, yeah, I guess. But it was also during the winter time too. So like the weather was really nice. The weather was like balmy. It was good. The summer though, Phoenix in the summer is a hard sell for me. But it was like winter time. It was really nice there. I liked it. I liked the city a lot. 115, jeez. It's like 10 degrees higher than here. Yeah, but Arizona in the winter sounds really nice. When will you Americans convert to metric? Yeah, so it's kind of embarrassing, but I've kind of been the holdup this whole time. The rest of America is pretty interested in converting to the metric system, and it's just been sitting on my desk for the longest time. I haven't decided if I'm going to make the switch for the country. maybe I'll get around to it at some point. But so far I'm unsure if it's the right direction to go in. But I'll let you know. You'll be the first one to know when I decide to switch to the metric system or not. Let's maybe wait a turn here with the drown up. Tiro, thank you for the 3 months. Appreciate you. Should most of your viewership be European given the time? The #1 country is I definitely have like America's the like #1 viewers for as far as like viewers per country, but I think America makes like 40%, and then like Canada is like I think the next most, and then Europeans like maybe like 20 or 30% of the audience. It's been a while since I've looked super close at the distribution. Maybe I can pull it up. Hold on. But that's like the only like metrics you get for Twitch is like the country. Insights. Well, you get like channels in common. I think they moved it around a little bit. Yeah, I'm not sure where it is. Oh, metrics. Yeah. They always change like where everything is in like the stream manager stuff, and you get used to it for a little bit and then it all changes. Right. Still get to sit back on the Kaito. Probably just gonna play the hearse and hold up the drown this turn. Yeah, Kaito ultimate into like multiple Kroxas is kind of interesting. So they have a creativity. They have creativity plus counter magic, good beats. Maybe we played a little too slow. Micah, thank you for the 1 year. I love to see like this is like our I think our third 1 year resub today, and it's always really cool to me to like I don't know, like everybody subscribes on the same day, and then a year later they're all still here. I always think that that's kind of cool. Well, what's less cool is my opponent putting an Archon of Cruelty into play, I'll tell you that. Oh, and then with the Leyline in play, my Unholy Heats are not answers to Archon, so I have to find a Drown. I do have a lot of looks at a Drown, though. How's Geyadrone? The idea is Geyadrone is good against Burn and Tron. I think that is likely true. But we haven't played against either of those decks today. Which is weird, because Burn and Tron have both been kind of popular. Okay. So I need to find fetch lands, drown. Failed to do so.
Not going to concede quite yet, though. Oh, wait, no, I should concede because I'm dead. Just hit me for 9, I'm at 7. Okay, too bad. Too bad. Yeah, definitely didn't have as good a record with this as Grixis Shadow today. I feel like there's still something to it. We maybe abandoned the Seasoned Pyromancer version too early. But Jacantha's just so good. Then the Tourach's main are also fine as well.